everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. I'm going to do a Christmas card for you today, but before I get started, I have, my husband's going to be on vacation next week. He's going to keep basically his same job, but the company he works for a hospital, and this is about, I don't know, maybe the fourth time that they have been bought by another company. So he, originally when he started there, he worked for Dell. He's in the project management of the computer side of the hospital. So he's worked for Dell, then he worked for NTT Data, then he worked for the actual hospital, and now he's working for another company. So they have vacation time he has to use up. So we're not actually going anywhere next week, but he's had a ton of vacation time because during COVID as well, they didn't take any time off. So he will be home next week. So we're going to take, and this isn't the first time that he's taken days off, and we have tried to do some things, but when he's home as well, it's hard for him. It's impossible for me to film if he's home and he's not doing anything, because I don't know if you have husbands and you try to do something at home, but he hovers. So I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff filmed ahead of time and then maybe posted next week while he's home, but we are going to do a couple of fun things next week as well. So I'm going to be filming today, and then I woke up today and my allergies are horrible. So I had all these things listed, and some of the cards are already made, and I was just going to try to fly through them. I have the card club ready to film. I have these cards ready to film. I have a wedding card that I need to do, and I want to film it. So I'm going to get as much done as I can without sneezing. I worked out in the yard for just a little bit yesterday. Mistake, because I thought, and our leaves are still on the trees here, which is very late. It's actually good, because next week when we go do some things, it should be pretty, because normally by the end of October, we don't have any leaves left on the trees. So that's good, except for the fact now that I can't breathe. So all that to say, I do have Eden's Gardens class. That registration will close, and I hope that I have one more card to show you. I will definitely email, and it just all kind of depends on what I can get filmed and what I can get posted in the amount of time that I have, because I've started with these two cards, and they really don't have anything to do with anything other than the fact that they're pretty, and I bought the stamp sets and I wanted to show them to you. But I have to get the wedding card done. I have paper pumpkin. I have to get the other class that has to go out. That has to be filmed. So I'm going to do the Great Tidings. I hope that you love it. I know that some of you had asked to see it. So if you're waiting to see this to do your Christmas cards, there's two. The second one takes a lot longer of a card. It's very pretty. This one is super fast, so I'm going to give you two variations of the Great Tidings. The one that takes a little bit longer, it may end up being posted towards the end of next week as opposed to this one, just because of, again, the way that my life sometimes doesn't go as the way that I write it down on paper. So, Great Tidings, super fun set. I will say, when I first saw it in the holiday catalog, I'm not a huge fan of the samples, which I hate to say that because I know that a real person made the samples. They just don't do a lot for me. This one's kind of busy. This one, actually, it looks like we had a Wisemen set a couple of years ago, and I do like this one, but it looks just like the one that my daughter made with that one, which when we first saw it, my daughter's like, that looks like my card, and it does, and I think that she even has a video on it. And this one just doesn't look very Christmassy to me. I like mine better. The dies are really pretty, and the one I'm going to do now is super quick. The other one, I probably should have reversed them, because if you want to make your Christmas cards with this, you really should do the other one first, because it's going to take a few minutes longer. And the one I'm going to do now, we may do it at camp. So if you're one of my camp girls and you're watching, this may be a November camp, because November is our Christmas camp. So I do like to do my Christmas cards with the more real meaning of Christmas stamps. And this year we don't have a nativity. So it's either going to be this or the angel ones for me. Although the paper pumpkin that just came out is so pretty. So I'm going to do non-traditional colors. And when I first saw it, like, the set screams use gold metallic, but our rose and gold, gold and rose metallic paper, half rose, half gold. So I thought, well, I'm going to show it to you in the rose, because that way, if you get it, I know you can all see it in the gold paper. So I'm going to show it to you in the rose, because you can easily substitute the gold. And I'm going to show you it's just as pretty in the rose. Plus it matches my nail polish. So I'm going to use Moonlight. And then I have just vanilla. I was going to use shimmer, but it didn't end up making a difference because I kind of did a mock-up before I did the real one, and the vanilla is just as pretty, and so it saves you a tiny bit of money. So let's do this part first. I'm going to use 4 blending brushes just for time's sake. You can easily use 2. So I'm going to start with Blushing Bride. And I'm going to just create a background. So I'm going to get some Blushing Bride on here. And just kind of make a sunset. And my sunset's not necessarily real colors. It's more... I mean, it's not like it's fake colors of sunset, but it's more just to go with my paper. So let's get the Blushing Bride on here first. And I'm not going to shut these because I may go back and add a little bit more color. And then let's do Mary Merlot. I can go all year, literally all year, and not use Merlot. And then Christmas cards hit, and I use Merlot all the time. And then come the end of December, I like put it up, and I don't use it again until... this time again. So let's add some Merlot. And then the Moonlight. And as they blend together, you get other colors, because like when this blends together, it kind of gives you a purple. And then I have Sahara Sand, because you know it's Bethlehem and it's the desert, so you need some sand. Now I'll tell you, if you are one of the ones who asked me to do this set, and it's taken me a while to get to it, the next card will also use the Moonlight and the sand and the blending brushes. So we'll do those 2 colors on the next one. Okay, now I'm going to go back. I don't know why I do this with blending brushes, but I always do it. So I'm going to go back now, and I'll do it one more time. And this time it'll kind of blend the colors that I've put on one more time. Now, if you use blending brushes like this, you definitely need to get ink refills because you are sucking this right out. But now that I've got the second color on there, I can blend. You can see where that line is, and I can start to blend the 2. And the first time, obviously, those 2 colors weren't touching because you only had the 1. So let's blend that. It also gives you a little bit of a workout. You can feel it in your arms. So that's done. Let's grab our Merlot again. It also kind of softens the lines out. So now we'll go down here where those 2 are kind of touching. Get those. And let's get our Moonlight, which is a good name for what we have going on here. I even kind of like the way that this sponged on here, which is a little bit different. It kind of gives it a stormy night, kind of like it's kind of. And then one more of the sand where those 2 touched. And there we go. So now we'll just let that set a second. It's really pretty on its own. You can see lots of our stamp sets that could go over the top of that. Now we're going to take this piece. I cut it. It's just a little over 3.5 and a little under 4. And the way I did it was I took this and I wanted it to be longer, and then it's just a little bit wider. So that was how I got the measurements for that. So if you have this frame, then you'd be able to measure it by that. And then this is just cut a hair under that because I'm going to put it underneath and I don't want it to show. So that's how you cut it. So let's put this on our die cut machine. And when you cut it, here's a couple of secrets. So for one, you don't have to worry about speed bump if you put this on here straight. Put it towards the top because this is going to prevent the speed bump. And then you're going to take these little pieces here And I'm gonna get the Bethlehem out, and it will actually go on here twice, but there's only one of them. So we're just gonna do it once, and then I'm gonna send it back through in a second. And then there's 3 of these little like fleur-de-lis, and I want them to go, this paper has a pattern, and so the grain's going this way. I want these to go the opposite way. So I'm gonna put them on like this. And then I'm gonna make sure that I leave room up here to get the Bethlehem to go one more time. So put this on like this. Make sure that's straight because we're gonna actually use this piece. So you want this to be straight. It just takes one pass, but it is the glimmer paper. So you will have to do a tiny bit of poking to get those out. So send this through. You could send it back if you want, or you can just poke. I sent the first time I did it because I wasn't sure how this cut, and I did it on vanilla cardstock and everything just fell right out. But it just kind of, see, is when it sticks in here, it just pulls right out. The stuff that doesn't, you're just gonna have to pop. But like it pops out, it's just that the glimmer holds on. So let me just pull this, and then we'll send the Bethlehem back through. And we're just getting another one for the inside of the card because there's all this paper and I hate to waste it. And I like, especially at Christmas, well, I always like to decorate the inside of my cards. I don't often do it for videos, but if I'm actually giving a real card, I like to. So let's just send this back through. And then we're done with that. So you can see it pokes it. It's just that because it's the glimmer. So pull this out. Now here's the piece that we're gonna put on our actual card. So just take your pick tool. This is one of my free gifts with purchase this month. And just poke these out. You can use the rolly tip. So I'm just gonna take a second and poke these out, and then I'll fast forward this part of the video. Okay, so I poked all these out. So you can see that it makes really good use of the paper by putting those in there. So let's just stick this together now. The longest part really of this is sponging the color and then poking those out. So fold this in half. And then you're just gonna lay this on here just to kind of give you an idea of where you wanna do your stamping. So put this on here. I didn't tape it or adhere it until after I had put it on. That way, if anything goes a little bit sideways, you can fix it. So just take your black pad, and then there's a star in the set. So ink up your star. Make sure you don't get the sides of it because this is a cling set. And just put your star up here. And then I went with, there's several different words in the set. I went with glory to God in the highest. Again, make sure you don't get the edges. Put it right here. But see, by doing this first, if anything's a little crooked, then you can kind of reposition this when you stick it on, and then don't have to worry about your stamping being crooked because you can move this because this is a little bit bigger. So that all looks pretty straight. So just take your adhesive. I have too many things now because of all the blending brushes. Oh, and look, I'm gonna run out. Hopefully I have enough. It doesn't look like I might. All of this on here. And then just stick this on. Just like that. Actually, this one's a little bit better. My blue goes a little bit higher on the other one. It makes the highest a little bit hard to read. I'm gonna take one of your Bethlehems. Oh. Well, I'm gonna move that one because I did put dimensionals, the little baby mini dimensionals, just to kind of pop this up. But my Sahara Sand's a little low on this one, but it won't matter. You will see that it doesn't matter. And on one of these, the windows are super, super close, so I just took my snips, cut one in half. Even though these are miniature, the spots that you have to put them on here are even super more miniature. So just trim one in half and then use the 2 pieces. So it's the sticky side. This would also be a pretty framed piece of art. Now for these, you want to start in the center. That way you can kind of just go center and then do the other ones this direction. And then I'm going to take my Versamark pad. You could use the Moonlight. The Versamark's just a tad bit lighter. And then there is another, it's a similar variation of these little decorations. And I don't want them to be straight, so I'm going to intentionally make them not be straight. But the Versamark is a nice tone on tone. And to make them not be straight, I'm going to go all different heights. That way if you want them to be straight, it'll take way too long if you're doing very many Christmas cards. And then if one's a little off, it's going to look worse. So just make a random pattern, kind of like a mosaic wall might be someplace in Bethlehem or in the Middle East. And you don't have to do the whole card because most of the pink's going to cover this up. So that just kind of fills out that background there for us. Oh, look, I think that I have made it with my adhesive that's almost gone. So put this on here and see it just kind of, instead of having an empty background, it just kind of fills that in. And then for the inside, I put, I don't know where my words went. I have too many cards sitting here. Which one did I put? It looks long. It's right here. It says, sending peace and joy to you. So open this up. And now this one that I've stuck the adhesive on, you can go right here. That way we've used up all of this as much as we can. You could even save it and get a couple more small things out of that. And then one last little touch. These were on my table if you saw my niece's engagement card. I used the green and the pool party. This time we're going to use this blue. These are the holiday rhinestones and the blues match perfectly. So we'll just add some other stars to the sky in the blue. You could almost use the pool party, and this is not Moonlight blue, it's just a navy blue. But it kind of just adds a little bit more. So here's this one. And then you can see I did kind of lose my sand. I kind of like where this fell. It doesn't matter. Don't stress about where it is because this one, it's a tad bit harder to read. Not terribly. On this one, I did take my Wink of Stella. I won't take the time on this because this one is a little bit lighter up there, so you don't really need it. But I did add a little bit of Wink of Stella. Whoops. To that. So super fast. These would be really quick cards to do for your Christmas cards. And they're really different. I like when we go non-traditional colors. It's got the true meaning of Christmas on there. So stay tuned. I will get to the actual Wisemen in the set. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit, I do like my channel to kind of go in a flow. Not going to be going in a flow over the next few days. But we'll pick back up sometime mid-November. I'll hit the flow again because I got on stage, I got some classes, I got some randomness coming on. But we'll get to the other set. So everybody have a great day. And I hope that your week's flowing a little bit better than mine's going to be. Have a good one. Bye.